What's up guys, it's Cam Hilliard from Miller's RV in Baton Rouge, and today I want to study the expression, better late than never. Is it true? Is it false? So I'm standing in front of the 2026 Winnebago Ekko 22A. Now we've done a couple reviews on the 22As before. I think the Ekko products in general are awesome. But today, like I said, I want to talk about better late than never. So if you've seen our video on the Ekko 23B that's in the full body paint, I'm sure you loved it because it's absolutely beautiful. The 22A was very late to the party. This is the first year that they're going to offer a full body paint option, and it's beautiful. Just like the Mercedes full body paint, it's really all one color. So I think it blends together very nice and kind of just makes it way more sleek and kind of looks like a SWAT vehicle a little bit. So I absolutely love it. Also, we've got a newer interior color that matches what they had in the 23B. So I'm excited for you guys to see it. Let's check it out. All right, guys, so you got a great shot down the side of the Transit now, of the Treco, as we like to call it. This is a carbonized gray color. I couldn't remember. I don't know if they call it something different on the Sprinter. The actual color is the same, but carbonized gray. Now, it all is supposed to be one color. I don't like, sometimes in different lightings the Ford part looks different than the Winnebago part to me. It shouldn't be. I think it's just honestly my eyes playing tricks on me, but I did want to point out because you probably can't tell with the camera. I think it's the same, but sometimes it kind of looks a little different. So of course this is the all-wheel drive chassis. This does have the EcoBoost in it, so this engine will get up and roll. It's got hand-cooked tires on it standard. With this full body paint down the side, you're not gonna have any decals on it. So if you've seen the other Ekkos, whether it be the 22A or the 23B, you can order it with graphics delete, or you can order it with the graphics on it. Most folks opt for the graphic delete, but I think now more and more people are gonna get the full body paint, both in the Sprinter version and the 22A. So I'm gonna flip you guys around here so we can check out some of the storage. We did not order this one with the tailgater package. I can kind of discuss what that will come with if you decide to order it though. So the storage here is where I mentioned the tailgater package would be. And guys, I always point out with the Ekkos, I mean, this is just so solid. I mean, 2-inch thick sidewalls, and they don't skimp out on your storage doors. Like this is, I mean, it's heavy, man. So the insulation's fantastic. As with any of the Ekkos, all of your bays are gonna be heated, not the propane, you don't really need it there, but all the rest of them are gonna be heated and powered, which is fantastic because you can plug devices in, and then also, of course, all your gear can stay heated, stay warm. Now, it doesn't stay air conditioned, that's not that big of a deal. But anyway, with the tailgater package, you're gonna have a cooler / freezer. It can do both. It comes out here, you're gonna have a sink, and then you're gonna have a burner that's built in. It's something you could always make. You know, you can always kind of make your own afterwards, or probably even buy the same kit and put it in here if you didn't have it from the factory. We kind of go 50-50. Some we order with it, some we don't. But either way, I think if you don't get it, you've got great storage here. If you do get it, then you've obviously got a lot of nice area to cook outside. Dual propane tanks here. One of my favorite things about the 22A and the 23B are that you have removable propane tanks. I think that's such a good thing whenever you're going off grid for a week, 2-3 weeks at a time, because you can bring extra propane tanks with you and you can just cycle through them as needed. So above that, we're gonna have our Truma AquaGo system. This panel here, this is really just for maintenance. You can toggle it off and on here. The specifics of that we'll get into another day, but that's your control or your access panel to it there. Below that, we're gonna have our propane quick connect here. You can hook your Blackstone to it. Now, you don't want to hook a crawfish burner or something like that. If you don't already know, all of these gas quick connects are going to be low flow. Most of them are going to be 0.8 PSI. It doesn't sound like a whole lot, but most of these high efficiency Blackstone and griddles, that's fine for. Now, if you have an old Coleman, gas cooktop that you've had for 25 years, odds are it's probably not high efficiency, and it may not really hold a flame as well with something that's low pressure like this. Storage here, before we get to that, you do have your blind spot monitors there. I don't actually mind that look on they have a little bit of a smaller sensor that's on the Mercedes. I do like the smaller sensor, but on this, it doesn't look bad. Whenever you had the decals and the non-painted 22A, I thought it kind of looked, it just didn't look like it belonged. With this color and all the black trim, it's actually barely even noticeable. So with your, oops, wrong way, counterclockwise, Cam. So with your storage here, you've got access on your driver's side, your passenger side, and then through the rear, you've got MOLLE panels mounted on either of the doors so you can attach your gear here. And then Through the inside, you've got plugs on either side, both 110 and 12 volt. You've got lights in here, and then of course, as I mentioned a second ago, it is heated as well. So none of your gear is gonna freeze. It's all gonna stay fresh and pristine. Also, one thing that I do really like about this compartment is the multi-levels of it, and you've got that on both the Ekkos, and that's in the same thing they've done in the past, but you've got 2 levels here to kind of, you know, just separate your gear and organize it a little bit better, as well as all the clamps here. So you've got the mounting system. Now I believe you have 4 total, yeah. So you got 2 tracks at the bottom, 2 tracks at the top. You can attach these to it, and then you can use different tie downs to secure, you know, to secure mountain bikes or secure, you know, ice chests or big gear, anything like that. I think there was one other thing I wanted to mention on this outside. Oh yes, oh actually, so it's whenever you close these doors, so all of the doors are like this, and this is really hard to capture on video, but whenever I turn it, it pulls, I guess I could show you, the way that this latch closes, it pulls in close like that. Whenever you close it, it kind of like sucks too. So the seal here is fantastic. Now that's important just because it's, you know, one, it's safe, it's not gonna pop open on you while you're riding, but even more so, it's important when you're somewhere where it's freezing cold, and again, even though this is heated, it's gonna stay insulated so much better because of that tight suction. We'll swing around the back, I'll show you the access to that rear storage compartment from the back door, and then we'll go touch on some things on the driver's side as well. But before we do that, of course, I have to show you the awning. I'm sure you've seen this before, but it's always beautiful. And of course you got the electric steps as well. So you do have the Carefree awning on this. You know, we have had some mixed things with the Carefree. Most of them work pretty well, but again, there has been some trouble where they'll stick, and you know, we've definitely been a fair bit of recalls on those. So I would love to see like a Girard awning or something else, just because I don't know. It's a beautiful awning, don't get me wrong, but some of the problems that we've had with it, just with it getting stuck and, you know, getting jammed up, I prefer a Girard. I think is a lot more reliable. It's a little bit more expensive, but I overall, at this point in time, think that it's better than the Carefree awning. But still, I'll talk about the good parts while we're under here. No arms underneath to hit your head on, LED strip underneath. It does have a wind sensor. So, let's jump around the back and then we'll head to the driver's side. All right guys, so around the back now, you do still have a ladder on this. In the age where a lot of manufacturers are like doing away with the ladder and giving you that little Lippert, like step ladder go, whatever it's called, mount. This still has a ladder, which I think is important since you have the roof rack. It actually still allows you to be able to mount stuff. Or if you have like Starlink and you want to detach it, if you're parked under the trees and go run it out somewhere where you've got no tree coverage, I think it's fantastic for that. And you don't have to bring anything extra. Oh, this is already undone. But this back one is assisted. Your storage compartments on the entry door side, I don't know if you noticed, but those are not assisted. They really don't need to be, just kind of get in the way, and this, it's perfect. So it flies up. I've got our power cord back here. I touched on what's in this storage. I really just wanted you to see how the door opens. And also, I mean, just look how clean this is. I love the logo with the little hint of green and with the full body paint. I absolutely love this look. It looks like a tank. Let's head around to the other side and kind of touch on some things there, and I'll give you a couple things I don't like and then I would absolutely change. I'm gonna open this up real quick. Like I said, I just touched on what's inside this storage bay. Another Molly panel over here, and then you've got the electric and the heat and the lights all through. Do have your Batwing awning option here. If this is one where you get and you don't like the way it looks, you actually can remove this pretty easy, and there are a couple plates. I'm gonna roll that out for you here in a second. Wet bay here. I love that the wet bay is all like, close to eye level. It just makes it very accessible. Like your water panel here, you can control everything without having to like bend down low. Other than hooking up the hose, it's kind of really the only time you have to. Again, this is heated as well, so if you're in freezing conditions, you're not going to lose any functionality whatsoever as long as you have that heater on. Outdoor light here, which is great whenever you're hooking up power or you're hooking up your water. You do have a solar port here if you wanted to add more solar. You've got 490 up top, so you really don't need to add any more. This is going to be your shore power hookup here, and then you're going to have your vent for your Truma system. Of course, you do have the cassette toilet. 4.5 or 5 gallons, whatever you want to call it. Super easy to dump. I think we actually did do a video kind of talking about this cassette as well, if you want to check that out. But all in all, very, very simple. So we have our generator here. This is gonna be the Awning 2800i. Now this is a gas generator, so it does go from the tank, which I love that. Just makes it really, really convenient where other than the 2 refillables over there, you're really just filling up 1 tank, which is really nice. Since we ordered it with the generator, that means that you get the 1 battery, but you can always add the 2nd battery. If you order the big batteries package from the factory, then you won't get the generator. So we always prefer, hey, order the generator and then add the 2nd battery once you get it. Most folks end up doing it. I think even with 1 battery, your capabilities on the Ekko are fantastic, but the 2 just makes it all that much better. And then to the right of that, you've got your sump pump. That was one of the original, things that Winnebago changed from the very first 22A to now. So you've got that, which kind of just helps the drainage in your gray tank. I'm sorry, from your shower, yeah. Now, I mentioned things I would change. This is kind of where the Mercedes, like from the factory, the 23B, has an edge over the 22A. It's just the pure aggressive look. It's got bigger tires, it sits up a little bit higher. Like for me, for the 22A, and we said this right off the bat, even the first one that rolled out, we're like, man, that looks awesome, but I would love to put a little bit bigger tires and maybe lift it. Now, good thing for you is we actually, especially if you're local, we actually just got signed up and are just in the process of starting to add upgrades to really anything now, like as far as upgraded bumpers, upgraded struts, if you want to do the super single on the Mercedes, if you want to change the wheels, you want to lift it, we can do all of that now, so we can make your van look as custom as you want it. I always like to say with the Ekkos, they're like the Jeeps of the van world, so I absolutely love them. Like I said, I would change that. These tires will get the job done. Part of me is like, okay, I may not change the tires until I put some miles on it, not get rid of perfectly good tires, but then again, I would love the look of a little bit beefier tire and a little bit higher, for it to sit a little bit higher. I'm gonna roll out this bat wing awning. I'm sure you've probably seen it by now. The Ekko's been out for a while, but I still wanna make sure you can see how big of coverage you get from this big Alucab bat wing awning. All right, simple as it can be. Uh-oh. Swing this out here. All right, guys, so around the front now, this is the last thing before we go inside. I just love the front look of the 22A. I think this Transit chassis looks so sick, especially with these xenon headlights, and it's got this ring around it that I just think is absolutely beautiful. And in the front, it's just aggressive, which I like. Now, an upgrade that I've found is super popular with a lot of 22A, a lot of Treco people, is the Ford Raptor grille that goes in here. I think it looks so sick. And again, since we can do the upgrades now, we can do that for you as well, and even change the bumper on it too if you want to go that route. I love this new look. It is absolutely beautiful. It takes us to a whole nother level. It doesn't have that chalky pasty white. Now it's just a full paint. We're gonna jump inside and show you the new interior color. It's gonna remind you of the 23B because it's the same color as the 23B, but they've never done it on the 22A before, so I'm excited to show you. All right, guys, so I'm inside the 22A now. As I mentioned, this is a new color for the 22A. This is what they had in the 23B. This is the juniper with the weathered teak. I absolutely love it. It is kind of a lot of neutral colors, so if you kind of like a little bit more bold statement, may not be for you. For me, I like it. I think it's nice. One thing that I always find interesting about the Ekko is like the lighting is just kind of interesting in all of them. I guess because there's a lot of like hard corners, maybe a lot of shadows. Like it doesn't ever seem super bright in here. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but it's a thing. Anyway, in the front, so you've got 2 new seats in here. This is the same place the seats were, but it's just a little bit redesigned. I don't think they're any more or less comfortable than they used to be. They just look a little bit different. You've got the table in front of that. Now that table can be folded down and get out your way, or you can keep it up and kind of use it as a little mobile desk. Of course, you have all the dual pane acrylic windows with the bug screen up top. and then the nightshade at the bottom. And of course, all the windows that are dual pane like this open out and allow you to get a nice cross breeze. There we go. And then you close it on up. So you've got your galley here to the right. Actually a pretty good sized sink for a really small, smaller motorhome like this. And you've got the faucet with the head that pulls out. So I actually like that a lot, kind of just able to utilize a little bit more of the space you're given. 2-burner gas here. I've heard some people talk about, saying they prefer induction. I'm not really partial to either or, but the thing about the induction is if you had an induction cooktop in this, that's gonna zap a lot more juice than this does propane, if that makes sense. So if you're gonna be boondocking for a while, it may not be ideal to have an induction cooktop instead of burning out. If you really wanna be efficient, I get one of those, the jet boilers, that's not the name. Jet burner, jet boiler, you know what I'm talking about, but those are awesome, highly efficient, and boil water in a hurry. Microwave above me here, same microwave that they've done in the past, nothing really too special about that. You're gonna have storage to the left of it, and with these like arms that open, I like it because they hold it closed pretty well. Like there's not a rattle whenever you're driving on really any of these, and then whenever it opens, it's just pretty stout and opened. Underneath the sink, you're gonna have storage here. This is a smaller storage compartment since you do have the larger sink, and then you're gonna have a bigger drawer here in the bottom. Underneath the burners, you've got a good sized drawer here, and actually, I don't know if I feel like it had to have a sink cover in the past. For some reason, I don't remember. I'm almost sure it did, but I feel like I don't remember seeing that in the old ones. Good size storage underneath there. With the sink cover, it also does double as a cutting board. I find a lot of people are like, I don't want to cut this. This came from the factory. I want to keep it for resale purposes, and they'll bring another cutting board with you. But I mean, it's made to be used, so you're not really gonna hurt it if you do use it as a cutting board. To the other side of the aisle here, you've got kind of like a little pedestal area here. I don't see any plugs. I was gonna say this may not be a bad spot for like a small coffee pot, but I actually don't see any plugs. But below, you're gonna have adjustable shelves, so you can change the level of these and kind of customize it to your needs, or you can take the shelves all the way out and you'll just have a big open compartment here. Behind the seat, I love the storage here. I think it's fantastic to put like the little seat boosters, or even just an extra table, or really blankets. I mean, you name it. I mean, you've got a lot of space behind these 2 chairs for added storage, since you don't get any underneath, because that's where your inverter is, and I believe your Truma system is underneath that as well. Moving a little bit further back, you're gonna have your 12-volt compressor-driven refrigerator here. It's got the little freezer unit up top. And then these are also removable and adjustable as well as far as the shelves go. So again, you can fit it to your needs. The famed, awesome wet bath, but not really a wet bath, is here, and we'll jump on that in a minute. I want to mention too, this is huge storage right above the 2 little bucket seats here. Right now I've got our thermal blanket for the windows, and then this is the shade for, I think this is the shade for the windows here, as well as our manuals. Yeah, but I mean, good storage. If you've seen these Ekkos before, you're familiar with that. They are able to utilize really every inch of the space in here, and that's kind of too where this bathroom comes into play, and it's just so ingenious and really just changes the user experience tenfold. Let's scoot on back a little bit and we're gonna check that out. All right guys, so I'm in the bathroom now. We were kind of thinking like, how can we get a different angle for you? Because if you haven't seen one of these Ekkos in person, it's kind of hard to really gauge how awesome this bathroom is. If you have, then you know pictures and videos don't even do it a little bit of justice. But right now I'm on the toilet. I've got pretty great leg room here. When the door's closed, it's gonna be about right to there. So I've got good leg room, again, especially for the size of this motorhome. Another dual pane acrylic window here opens, bug screen, blackout shade, storage above. And then with your black tank, your cassette toilet here, this toilet does swivel as well. The sink is actually like, it's all one material, it's solid. I like the look of it. It's kind of minimalistic, but very clean as well. And then I like that you have a big tall faucet, so it's not some cheap little faucet that's jammed in here while I'm breaking my knuckles to wash my hands. Of course, you got a mirror here. I need to clean it, got a little bit of smudge on it. And then to make it into a shower, I'm gonna step back, grab this Flying W, pull it in. I will clip the snap up at the top. And there we go. Now we've got a shower. So again, yeah, maybe kind of on paper a wet bath, but it's really not a wet bath. I've got the curtain here. It's gonna keep all the water from getting outside whenever I close the door, even more so. Faucet here, it's a nice faucet. I also like that you have the shut off. So you can kind of take, you know, like your military style shower, not use as much water. Even though you do have a huge water tank on this, you're not, you know, you don't want to burn through it in a hurry. Yeah, but this is great. I've got good room here. When I turn sideways, tons of room. Height-wise, no problem there either. Yeah, this bathroom is awesome. The video can only do it so much. If you haven't seen one of these in person, go find your local dealer, go check one out, or if you're close to us, obviously come in, ask for me, I'd love to help. Let's check out the bedroom area. It's very, very simple in concept, but you can do a lot with it, which is the beauty of the Ekko. Let's check it out. All right, guys, so I'm in the bedroom area now. There's a lot to see. Again, kind of like the bathroom, it's kind of hard to get the perfect angle. Right now, I've got it with the twin bed set up. Whenever I will flip it to like it's really kind of a king queen. You're basically the full width bed. I'm gonna take this piece here, flip it upside down, and it's gonna rest. Like it's got built-in, it's hard right here. I don't know if that's wood or I think it's probably wood. It's gonna rest right here and make it a full width bed. And then on top, when it's not rested in plastic, you actually have like a little tray here. It's got kind of like, you know, not kind of shallow drink holders, but it's a great spot if you guys are sitting back here and you mount a TV, just kind of put your stuff in without worrying about it spilling. Now above that, you're gonna have storage on either side. In the middle, you're gonna have plugs. You're gonna have USB, USB-C, 12 volt, just cigarette lighter plug, and then two 110 plugs as well. And then the hole through here, so you can run a CPAP right through it with no problems whatsoever. Also, your lights underneath here. So you've got the little night light here, and then you've got the brighter light by just clicking it a second time. Again, dual pane acrylic windows on both sides. Bug screen at the top, blackout shade at the bottom. You can open them both up and get a really nice cross breeze. You can mount a TV on that side. We've got the hookups for it that come from the factory. You just have to put a mount on the backer. And you can put a nice little TV in here. Underneath the bed is really where you get a ton of extra space, because of course you have the pass-through storage that's in the back here, but underneath either side you're gonna have the pull-out drawer, and then you're gonna have the open cabinet here as well, which this in itself is big, but if you have trouble accessing that, you can actually pull up from here, and then you've got access to everything. Now you can hang clothes on either side of this, and then you've even got like this is kind of like some little secret storage there. I really don't know what you put, it's pretty narrow, but I guess if you got stacks of cash, go for it. The step ups to this are nice because they are tall, but it's pretty accessible for most people. And I just love like the floor color too. Like you've got this interwoven pattern. They say it's easy to clean. I've had some people who have had trouble with it and said that you've got to kind of spray it with stuff to clean it. Like they say it does clean, but it's not as easy as just wiping it off like I had originally been told it was. But still, you can get it clean nonetheless. So we're gonna flip around. I mentioned that I did want to show you some stuff that I don't really love about this, and that's mostly gonna be in the dash area. So let's check that out and kind of go with the pros and cons from there. All right, guys, so we are in the front of the 22A now. I said I was gonna talk about things I don't like. I will start with what I do like. So above this, I like this a lot. You know, for a lot of folks who buy these, they may not watch a ton of TV, so you don't need this, but you have a sound bar and a built-in smart TV, as well as a DVD player, if you still know what one of those is. Actually Blu-ray, that's up top there. And then storage to either side, and also this little light bar up top, I think is a nice touch as well. This is pretty basic up here, but it is nice storage, nice cubby storage nonetheless. On the forward part, so I do like the storage that's above here. To tell you the truth, that's another one where like I don't remember seeing this on the previous year models. I don't know of any changes, so it had to have been there. Maybe I overlooked it, but this is nice. I mean, you know, you've got two spots here, and then you've got a rail. Now this is, I was wondering, that felt loose. It looks like I am missing a screw. I guess that's what this is here, but that needs to be reattached. But that's a nice little grab handle too. Okay, so now the parts that I don't like, I'm gonna bring you in a little bit closer so you can see, because it should be glaringly obvious to you too. All right, guys, so in the actual cab area now, this one is pretty glaringly obvious to me, and I find that a lot of chassis come up short in this area, really other than the Mercedes. So a big knock for this for me is, one, gonna be cloth seats. And then 2, now again, the cloth seats, you can recover, not that big of a deal. But then the number 2 for me is just the fact that these are still manual seats. Like I don't know if it's a weight thing. I don't know what the reason is, but I don't know if it's because the Transit is made for tons of delivery vans. Like I don't know why, and that's not even a Winnebago thing. That's a Ford thing. Like, I would love these seats to be electric. Again, it's not a huge deal, but it just seems like, it's 2026. I would love for this to have electric seats. Now, as far as the good things go, I mean, you've got the adaptive cruise, which I love. You've got automatic headlights, which are a big plus too. The big screen here is nice. This is one where I don't mind it. Most people don't, but I've heard some people say it, like you don't really have many buttons. So you've got a volume. This will change it to, eco mode, race mode, or snow mode as far as like your driving conditions. Max defrost here, I actually don't know. Does this turn the screen off? Yeah, that just puts it into kind of like, that puts it to sleep kind of. And then this looks like parking assist here. But so lack of buttons. So I don't mind it, but like all your AC controls are going to be, I don't have the engine on, but they're all going to be just, you tap to touch them right there. I can show you real quick. So this is how you adjust everything. Now you can grab it and raise it, or you can go lower just like that. It's very user friendly, but again, that is one that I have heard a couple complaints from some of my older Ekko customers who just didn't like the lack of buttons. Most people don't mind it, but definitely want to point that out. You've got a USB plug here, 12-volt hookup here. And you've got plenty of cup holders, so that part is good. Like I said, the main knock for me is just like stick some leather seats in here and find a way to make these seats electric. Just make it more convenient. Other than that, the Transit chassis knocks it out of the park. So I mean, I'll kind of recap a lot of things I like and then some of the things I don't like. But all in all, I do love the 22A and the 23B. I love the Ekko in general. I think it's great. So let's kind of recap and we'll jump through my faves and my disfavorites. All right, guys. So just to kind of recap the 22A. So the new in 2026 is this full body paint, carbonized gray. I absolutely love that. So that's a big thumbs up for me. On the interior color, I like that a lot too. The negatives for me are going to be the cloth seats and the manual seats. That's from the Ford side. And then from Winnebago, I don't know if, it would add cost to do this from the factory. So, and Ekko people can be more particular. So like I would love probably better rims, but definitely bigger tires and a little bit of a lift. So I would absolutely add that. Those are kind of my two things. It seems like that's just what it needs, a little bit beefier profile. But all in all, I love it. I love the full body paint. We're probably gonna order most of ours like this. Obviously if there's a special request, we won't, but I think it's sleek. I think all in all, it just looks kind of like a Night Rider. I love it. If you guys got any questions, let me know. If you'd like to stop by and see one, ask for me. I'd always love to help. And as always, enjoy the journey.